when I did decide to share, I had no idea the outpour of support and women that were struggling that I would receive. There are women on my social media, in my inbox, who are bald and nobody knows. Like, when they go out, they're still covering. It's crazy. Yeah. And so I didn't know that my journey would be a light for others. I did not. Hi, I am Bridgett Deana, and I'm that girl.
What's up?
What's the dealy deal?
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you. It's been a long time.
It's been forever.
It's been a long time. I feel like social media gives us the illusion that you've seen people.
For sure.
You know. Yeah, but thank you for sitting down with me.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Nine family. First of all, welcome to the Nine Conversations, where we say now over never, because now or never gives you too many options. As you all know, our goal is to inspire, to uplift, to encourage. There are people who have things that they want to do, things that they need to do, things that they want to overcome, but they're crippled by fear, insecurity, past failures, maybe lack of resources, so they think. And so they just choose to either shut down, not continue, or not even start. And that can be in many things. That could be in a business, that could be in a relationship, that could be with something that you're dealing with in life. Just life presents us with so many things. And so today we're going to talk to Bridgett. We're going to talk about a few different things, but I feel like she has some things that I know that she can share. It's kind of left center of what we've been doing on the Nine Conversations, but I feel like this is going to be something that part of our viewing audience is going to appreciate, and still understand that now over never ain't just about starting a business. Now over never is saying, like, life has presented me something. Let me look at all the cards that I've been dealt and let me understand how I need to move forward without just shutting down. Yep. Right. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. So Bridgett. First of all, let's start with this. Tell the people who you are.
I am Bridgett Deana. I am mom. I am old entrepreneur, currently not acting in that space.
She's an entrepreneur.
I'm not acting in that space now, though.
We finna talk about that. Go ahead.
I am a single mom, full-time single mom, I should say. And yeah, I'm just lifing and loving, doing my thing. Yeah. And I'm a style girl too.
Y'all can see, look. She asked me, like, what should I wear? I'm like, no, you're the last thing that I'm finna tell you is what to put on.
This is my comfortable.
She puts it on. Yeah, she puts it on. But again, thank you for sitting down with us.
Thanks for having me.
When I first started doing these Nine Conversations, my goal simply was just to inspire. And to be honest with you, in a period of time where I was looking for inspiration, because there's things that I wanted to do, this being one of them, where I was kind of like, man, nobody want to see that. Nobody want to hear that. And I was so focused on the outer things versus kind of like what my purpose for doing it was, which is to empower and uplift and inspire people. And so, yeah, I want to talk to you about a few things, but let's start here. You said, you labeled yourself as mother and all of that, kind of all the things that you just mentioned. How long have you been a mom?
I have been a mom for 7 years.
7 years.
7. She just turned 7 this spring.
7 years. She's a light, to say the least.
Something.
She's a light for sure. But yeah, so 7 years, single mom.
Single mom for 6 of those 7.
6 of those 7. How is that? How do you incorporate your life? Because I don't want to say how do you incorporate being a mom. I feel like that's probably number one.
It is number one. So
how do you incorporate life into that?
It's hard.
Okay.
It's very, very hard being a single mom. Well, it's hard being a mom no matter whether you're single or not. Yeah. But being someone's everything, and being the primary parent, it's very challenging. Okay. And she's my priority. I got one shot. I'm a one and done kind of mama.
Come on. Yeah.
So I do my best, and it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
time consuming,
Yeah.
and it's hard. So I kind of just do.
Yeah. So we can get into some of that too, but let's start here, because I think a lot of times when we talk about single parenthood, the first thing that typically gets brought up are those things, the things that are difficult, the adjustments,
yes,
all of that stuff. So what are the joys of being not just a single mom, but just a mom?
She's like my bestie.
Yeah.
And I know you're not supposed, that's not supposed to be your BFF and all the things, but she really is my bestie.
Yeah.
I enjoy spending time with her. I enjoy talking to her.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing life through her eyes, because things that we do, I never would be doing if it wasn't for her. Like the adventures that we go on, the traveling that I do with her, or all of the things that we do together to spend quality time. I would never be doing that if it wasn't for her. So being able to do life essentially through a child's eye, if you will, it's really something. Yeah. And to see her grow and change, because she's always changing. And to know that you have a hand in that, if you will, it's amazing. It really is amazing. I enjoy it. I don't like it all the time, but I do enjoy it.
Of course. Of course. I feel like with anything, right?
Yep.
You don't necessarily always like, even the things that you love, like we were talking about starting a business or anything like that. The things that you love, is going to come moments where they're going to present things that are not necessarily ideal for that moment, right? But everything that you just mentioned are the reasons why it makes it all worthwhile, right?
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
that's really beautiful, really beautiful. What's the one thing or the main thing that you deal with daily, weekly, monthly, that you'll say, okay, this is probably the most difficult piece about me being a single mother?
Oh, I probably being second. I consider myself second to her.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's the proper way or if I'm supposed to, but she comes first in all of my decisions. And so whether that's travel, whether that's going out, whether that's dating, whether that's, can we start this business, whatever it is it feasible to do with her? And sometimes I don't think it is. Okay. And that's challenging. Okay.
It can be, I'm sure to have a life of being able to say me first.
Ooh, for so many years.
Right? Because you had your child when you were 36, right? And so, obviously when we're younger, the dream is for everybody, especially for most women, right? Is, you go to school, you do all of this stuff, you find your guy, you get married.
Indeed not.
Have your kids. There you go. See, have your kids. And then by the time you're 35, 36, you kind of on cruise control, almost at empty nest time. And then
for most of people,
that's how people want it to happen.
Yep.
But obviously, like I said, you had daughter at 35, 36, and you said 6 of those 7 years you were. So obviously there was an attempt to have the family unit.
There was, yes.
Okay. And then that didn't work. I don't want to get too much into all of that, but that obviously must be challenging to have to shift from within a matter, think of it, in a matter of 3 years, you went from all me to a relationship to like now preparing for a unit. The unit is here, and then
it sucks.
And then I'm out of it. So talk to us about that. Like what was that transition?
It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it was a lot. So I never lived with anyone.
Yeah.
A man. That was new to me. And I made that decision pregnant, emotional. I had always lived by myself, or with a roommate here and there, but always by myself. Yeah. And so to be pregnant and then make the decision to come together, I'm, in hindsight, shouldn't have, but I did.
Yeah.
Thought it was the best idea, and it just didn't work. Yeah. We just did not do well together. He wasn't the person that I thought he was, or that I needed to be potential husband or whatever. And so it didn't work.
Okay.
And we parted ways, and that was a mess. And so I struggled because I'm also a mom now. And I'm also postpartum. Because she was only 1. It takes women 2 and 3 years to hormonally get back to their center. So so I had to figure out quick how to be single mom and still have an identity, which I didn't have, in the midst of all of that. And it was very, very, very hard.
Yeah. No, I can imagine. I mean, I can only imagine what the different levels of things that you're dealing with emotionally.
Mad, sad, rage.
Yeah. Right. And then the practical stuff, right? Because now you're having to adjust life for yourself and for your daughter. There's the relationship piece of, like, I'm sure you're thinking about, okay, how does this impact my daughter's relationship with me? How does it impact her relationship with her father? All these different things that you're having to solve for. And so one thing I wanted to ask you is dealing with all of that, because now you've been doing this for a while now, 6 years as a single parent, a single mother. What is your, what do you want her to see, throughout this journey? Obviously, there's many years of being, for her, a lifetime of being her mother. But when you, at the simplest, what do you want her to see in you?
I want her to see happy, healthy, love, self-love.
Yeah.
And I want her to see God.
Yeah.
I want her to see that she can do whatever. And those reasons alone are the reasons that I didn't stay in the relationship, because I didn't want any of those things to be tainted. Because I'm in a relationship. I don't want her to grow. So with that said, I want a relationship. But it also has to embody those things. And if it doesn't, and it doesn't work for me, and it damn sure don't work for her.
It don't work for her. Yeah, and that's good. That's good. And obviously, that's a responsibility. Any parent, father, mother, single, married, whatever, that's the responsibility, is that you are helping to, because God has a big hand in that, but you're helping to sort of create and to guide this life. At some point in her life, she's going to have to make similar decisions that you've had to make in your adult life. But up until that point, your responsibility, one of your responsibilities, is to guide her along. And how does she enjoy her childhood? How does she appreciate?
And I wanted it to be happy and healthy. And a lot of times I feel like people just assume that 2-parent homes are automatically happier and healthier and better than because there's 2 parents, when that's not the case at all. It's a lot going on in them 2-parent
There's
homes.
2 traumas.
Yes.
Raising a child.
Exactly. And so I couldn't be my best self in that environment. And I wanted her to see me as my best self.
That's good. That's so good. That's so good. And it's a tough decision. I think, having to make that decision is always tough for a single mom or a single father to say, like, this is what I have to do, knowing that you don't know what the challenges necessarily are going to be after making that decision. So applaud you for that. And as far as I can see, you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
As you go through life and things happen in life or whatever it is, someone, I will just say your child or your loved one, could be a husband, a wife, anyone. In most solid relationships, there's this thing that people talk about is transparency. Right?
They do.
And so with you being a single mom and being as close to your daughter as you is, she's probably seen you experience a lot of things. Right? One thing recently that you've kind of spoken about publicly is you've had, I don't know if you would call it a battle with, but I would say you have lived with for a while a certain thing. I want you to tell the story. But obviously your daughter's been here throughout this process, and maybe even after that. So tell us, what is it that you recently shared?
So I have been battling alopecia, which is an autoimmune disease. But I have been dealing with it for over 10 years. It's been so long that I've had the issue. I don't even remember when it was. It's been over 10 years that I do know for sure. So I'm a trendy person when it comes to style and things like that. So I've always managed to get my hair done in ways to camouflage it where no one ever knew. unless you were in my personal
circle.
space or whatever. But so yeah, it's been my thing, and so I kind of got tired of it.
Yeah.
And then some more breakage had come, and I had a hair appointment.
Yeah.
And I just was like, you know what? I canceled it. And I was like, well, I'm going on a cruise. When I come back from my cruise, I'm cutting my hair off. And that's just what I did. And now I am a year in. It was actually my bald-versary.
Come on now. Come on. We with it.
My bald-versary was April last month. Yep.
Yeah. So I love that you mentioned a couple of things. You mentioned you started off with an identity thing, right? Where you're saying like, I'm a trendy, I'm a fashion person.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times things that we do in our lives are really based on who we have defined ourselves as. Sometimes for the best, because we're making these decisions like, oh, I'm going to start this business because this is something that I'm passionate about. And sometimes not always for the best, where you're saying like, okay, you love fashion, you love your hair. So you're doing the wigs and you're doing all these different things. And yes, from the outside looking in, it looks like, oh yeah, she always so trendy with the different styles. We always see her with this. But when you go home at night, you're struggling because they think I'm doing it because this is what I always want to do.
Yeah.
But a lot of this I'm doing because
I have to.
So talk to me about that, because that 10-year period or however long that is, that's a long time.
God, it's been well. First of all, it was. Now that I am bald, I realize that was exhausting. I love to change my hair, and I love to get, styles that weren't always, what most people would get. I wore Bantu knots before they were popular. People hated my Bantu knots when I wore them. Like little fros and weaves and braids and all of those things. And it would always, however it had to be done, it would have to be done around my bald spot. And my stylist, bomb, made it work every time. She the deal.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was just, it just became too much. And I don't know if that came with age or mom life or just like, I've had enough. I'm tired. I'm tired, and I'm just ready. And what's interesting is that when I was much, much younger, I wanted to cut my hair like a boy, quote unquote, like a boy. And my mom would not let me. And I was in high school, and she refused. She was like, girl, no, you're not. No. When I went to college and I could do it, I was scared. Because I was like, I don't know. So I have worn short styles with, the back shaved and all of that, but never bald until a year ago. And I just, I was just tired.
And obviously it probably would have been an easier decision had you already experienced having low hair, if you would have done it in high school and things like that. But that wasn't the path, God used your mom in a way to say like, no, like let's continue on this path. And then when you had the opportunity to do it yourself, there was fear. So you talked about earlier about, you wanting your daughter to see you strong and see you happy and see you all these different things. And so
cutting my hair did not show up strong for me. It did not. It did not show up strong for me. So I made the decision. I have a friend, and I mentioned it to him. And he was so excited. He's bald. And he was like, oh, I'll do it. And I'm like, okay. Because I knew that I wanted it, but I hadn't really thought how, when, who was going to, like, I hadn't really put all of that into it. And he did, but I cried. I'm being 100% honest. I did not like it. I wasn't used to seeing it. I didn't feel pretty. It didn't make me feel good. I didn't know how I was going to show up thinking I'm cute with all of my confidence and flyness without hair. It was really hard. And I really wanted to put my wig back on. That's all I wanted to do. I just like, I want to put my wig back on.
Yeah. There's a couple of things here I want to get into. So the first part was your confidence. You talked about your confidence and how am I going to be able to get out here? That people know me for my confidence and my style and how I walk in a room and how I relate with people. Your personality, people know you for that. And then I have to almost kind of recreate so you're thinking,
yes,
I have to recreate myself so that I can still show up the same versus
when I didn't feel the same.
Right. So what I want to touch on is because that's happening a lot with people, right? Where we feel like we have to show up. We put on a face.
Yep.
Whether we want to or not, whatever we're dealing with internally behind closed doors. And then we show up in different spaces, feel like we have to put on a face. Talk to me about, when you talk about your confidence and things like that, because did you find that you had to recreate yourself, or did you find that you had to say like, no, I just need to find out how to be the same? Did you have to shift your way of thinking to say I'm the same person?
I had to sit in it myself.
Say that again.
I had to sit in it.
That's good. That's good.
I had to sit in it. And I wanted to put my wig on and I planned to put my wig on. But when my daughter saw me and I saw her visibly uncomfortable, I couldn't put my wig on. So I didn't share. I didn't share that my hair was cut until like 5 weeks later. Yeah. Because I needed to
sit with it.
Yeah. Like I really had to sit with it. Like if you saw, like I wasn't quote unquote hiding it. Like if you saw me out,
you just
and
saw
this is what it was, but I wasn't. I'm a social. I love Instagram. I love pictures, and so I wasn't sharing that part of me, and so no one knew unless you saw me out.
Yes, you saw it. Yeah.
But I had to sit in it. I had to sit in it because I wanted to be okay with it, but I wasn't. I wasn't, and neither was my daughter. She didn't like it. It was uncomfortable for her. It wasn't what she was used to. Her dad is bald. Her uncle was bald. And she associated a bald head with men. Yeah. She was worried about if people would make fun of me. And so all of those things. And so I'm showing up to her saying, I like it. I'm okay with it. And I know change is hard. And I hope that you will be okay with it too. And then I'm going in my room and bawling in tears because I don't like it.
I don't like it.
And I am not comfortable. Yeah. And I know people are going to make fun of me and all of those things. And she is the reason I didn't put my wig back on. Yeah. Because if I'm telling her I'm okay with it, I gotta show up as okay. I gotta show up as okay.
First of all, she looked bomb with it, y'all. You know,
Thank you.
I think
pink, red. So many pink, red, pink, red, pink, red, pink.
Hey, yo, what up? This is your boy, Cameron Classic Mike. First of all, thank you for watching the Nine Conversations right here on COTL-TV. That's at Content Outside the Lines or Content Outside the Lines, whichever way you want to say it. That's how we meant it. Right here on YouTube. I hope you've been inspired by some of the guests that we've had. And if you haven't, you want to see more of the Nine Conversations or more content like it, go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and hit that notification button so you can see exactly what I'll be posting in the future. And you can also join me over on Instagram at IamClassicMichael, where you can see additional content as well. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. The Nine Life. It's now over never. From the outside looking in, right, it's there's always this fear of how people are going to view you, how people are used to viewing you, how people are used to seeing you and how you act. And so everybody's watching, but the main person, your daughter, is also watching, right? And how you just mentioned earlier, you know, you want to be able to have her see you as your best self. And I'm sure going into that room bawling at times probably was just like that. I had to say something to her that I don't really even believe myself.
I didn't.
How did that make you feel?
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like, should I stick it out or should I try to seek, different things, try to grow it or, to mend it or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
In that moment, it was just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It made me feel sad, honestly.
Yeah. But there had to be a turning point, right? And so how soon after that?
It took a while.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But I just kind of, I don't even know when it happened.
Was it like over time you just kind of started to feel it?
I think it was over time.
Yeah.
That I just thought, like, getting dressed, like, oh, okay, well, she cute.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened in time.
Yeah.
And so the old me of, I feel like I can wear anything.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like that involved.
Right.
And so that started to come up like, girl, bye,
Yeah.
you the bomb. Like, you got this. And so my confidence just honestly just kicked in time. With me sitting, I had to sit in it though. I had to sit in it and get comfortable with it first before I showed up in the world like pretending. That was just not something that I wanted to do. I didn't want to pretend.
Yeah.
And so when I did share, I was much more comfortable.
Yeah.
She was much like, I was like, oh, I should have been there this.
Yeah. And so here's the thing that I want to ask you about as well. Now that you just said that is the shifting, the realizing, who I am.
Mm-hmm. And whose I am.
And you're going right where I'm going. So, you spoke about becoming a single mom. You spoke about the alopecia and the identity sort of part. How does faith play a part in how your journey through all of that?
It plays a part because it doesn't matter what I got going on.
Mm-hmm.
I know whose I am.
Mm-hmm.
I know I am God's child.
Mm-hmm.
I know I look good.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm smart.
Yeah.
I know I'm kind. Like all of the qualities that make me Bridgett
mm-hmm.
don't have anything to do with having hair.
Right.
And because I believe it don't matter.
It's nothing.
It's nothing.
It's nothing.
It don't matter. Like at this point, it's nothing you could even tell me.
Yeah.
That would make me feel any different than what I already know.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there times that you question God when you were going through some of these things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because why? Like why?
Why is this my battle?
Why is it my battle? And I really do think that it was, looking back, there were poor hair decisions on my behalf.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's honestly, again, showed up in my parenting with the way I do my daughter's hair and the decisions I've made for her to help ensure or try to avoid this situation too. Yeah.
It's so interesting that you said that, knowing whose you are, the bad hair decision, all of that, because when we talk about now over never, when we talk about overcoming fear, we talk about all those different things. A lot of times our journey, mm-hmm. the things that the good, the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
Or not even a lot of times, our journey is meant specifically for us. The things that we deal with, that we overcome. And it's not meant for us to internalize. In essence, why I feel like so many people were empowered, including myself, by what you did,
listen, and I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. But that's part of the reason why we're here, why God has us here, is that I don't want you to just overcome. I don't want you to just know that I brought you through and I gave you the confidence and the strength to do this, but also people need to know about me.
Yeah.
So how do they know me in this?
Yeah.
Other than you get out here and say, not only look, I had these fears, I had these doubts, these insecurities. This is where I am with it now, but also this is how I got through, and this is what I'm going to do moving forward with this. So talk to me about that, because I feel like a lot of times in life, and this is us, everyone, mm-hmm. we go through things and we're just so happy to get through it.
Yep.
That we miss the assignment part about sharing.
Such an assignment part. And so that whole sharing and that whole faith piece and that whole thing about being basically something for others to see. Mm-hmm. When I did decide to share, I had no idea the outpour of support mm-hmm. and women that were struggling that I will receive. There are women on my social media, in my inbox, who are bald and nobody knows. But maybe their family or whatever, they're working from home and they like from what products they should use. Like when they go out, they're still covering.
that
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know that my journey would be a light for others. I did not.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it for that. Obviously,
right.
It had nothing. Like I didn't even consider other people.
Yeah.
But to know that I am raising awareness, 2, supporting people and showing up as a light, as a woman of faith, and just being able to say you good, like just do it, kind of thing. It feels good, but it also makes me sad.
Yeah.
Because it's so many people
dealing with it.
You would be so surprised at the number of, I'm just going to say women, because obviously I think women have a more hard time with it than men.
Because the acceptance of
men being bald.
Yeah.
It makes me sad, honestly. It's really kind of sad. And so with that and showing up like that, I'm glad that I didn't cover.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Good. What do you say to someone right now who is struggling with alopecia and they're in that stage? They're in the covering stage. I don't want anybody to know this is going to change so much about me, because a lot of our identity, our self-identity is in how we show up appearance wise.
Sadly.
And what do you say to individuals who are in that space right now?
It's going to be okay. And if you decide, because you're not obligated to go bald, you can cover, and that's okay.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with it. And I don't want my journey or the women who have decided to go bald to make women that do not feel as if they have to, because you don't. You don't have to. But if you do, just know that you'll know within yourself when it's time. I promise you. I had plans and all the things for hair and what I was going to do next and what I was going to do after that. And I just, inside of me, I just knew it was time. I'm tired. I'm tired of doing this. It got exhausting for me.
Yeah.
And what I would say to other people is that do what's best for you, no matter what that looks like.
That's good.
But just know that if you cross over into the bald world, there is a whole community of people waiting, willing, and able to support you.
Yeah.
And you are not alone.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Find your tribe.
Yep.
Find your tribe. We've had it mentioned a few times on the non-conversation. Find your tribe.
It's in there. Everybody, there is a tribe for everything.
For everything. And
Absolutely.
Everybody. Absolutely. And God, I feel like God designed it that way. And the more that we push against what is clearly in front of us, the longer it takes for us to find that community, that tribe. We're still trying to hold on to past when something is like right in front of us. And sometimes God will put it so closely in front of you, like you don't have no choice but to walk through this. You can't go backwards. That's not an option. And you can't go over it. But also the faith part is that trusting and knowing that everything that I've placed in front of you, I also have already equipped you with what you need to go through it. You already have it.
You already have it.
And so to your point that you made earlier, because you mentioned like I found my confidence, but I think it's really more that you reintroduce yourself to who you were before.
Yeah.
You just look different, right?
Yeah.
But like, no, I'm still
me.
Said I'm Bridgett.
I'm still me.
I'm fearfully and wonderfully made.
Absolutely.
Fabulous. Show up and shut down a party. Bridgett. You know what I'm saying? I'm still her.
Yep.
And I went through a moment of doubt and fear and insecurity and all of that. And then you had to, like you said, it took time, but it had time. And God had to show you, like, no, you're still
Bombs.com.
That's you hear me? Look. Look. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna share just what my perspective was when I first saw that you announced it and you had the video and you posted that. To me, the first thing I thought was, I don't really know many people who I've met in my life who I feel like was ready for, like, I feel like you were built for that.
Really?
So let me tell you why, like, obviously without me knowing all the days by yourself and all of this stuff, but because of how you've always shown up.
Okay.
I feel like, let's start with your fashion. Like, I feel like you are one of those individuals. We've talked about fashion and stuff like that before. You're one of those individuals who I feel like when it comes to putting something on, like I'm not tripping off what you're saying. If I like it, I'm going to wear it. So when I saw you post that, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, she finna kill this too, because that's who she is. Not knowing that you're like, hey,
struggling.
This part?
I don't know about this one.
I don't know about this part. And so there's a lot of people who probably was just like, oh, what is she going to do? But for me, I was just like, I don't think there's anybody that I know better who's going to walk out and be like, yup, and it's my new thing.
And it is.
You know, and which you're there now. But, you know, I just feel like it was, and that's, we talk about assignment a lot on the non-conversations. And to me, I think maybe that's something that I thought also is that like, okay, this is like, how do you take all of that and say like, all right, how do I use this to empower people? Because a lot of times someone who is confident and bold and assured themselves, actually, it makes people feel inferior because they don't have that confidence. So how do I take this person who has all of this and then turn them into this amazing testimony with all this brilliance, you know, without people feeling like, oh, I'll never be that.
Yep.
And then what do you do is God says, you know what, I'm going to show you all, and I'm going to show you how close knit we all are. All of us in this world. There's something probably that I'm dealing with that you're dealing with right now.
Oh, for sure.
And the whole point of, we talked about the assignment piece and sharing, is that you don't know until you share your story, until you share, and in your own time, obviously.
Right.
But until you share those things with someone, I'm struggling with this, you don't ever get to understand and realize that there are people
just like you.
We sit at home all the time and we struggle with things that we feel like are very unique to us. Or very, very unique to very little people.
Alone.
Yeah. I don't know anyone, which I'm sure is what you thought.
Yep.
And then you come to probably find out, like, so what was that like?
It was so many people.
Yeah.
It's so crazy because I guess now that I've done it, I'm more aware.
Yeah.
And I feel like I see so many bald women now.
Yeah.
Obviously on social media, because I found my community and my tribe there. But like, even when I'm out, like I always see, and I was like, this could be the norm too.
Yeah.
Like the long weave could be the norm. The natural can be the norm. So is the bald. Like it looks like the norm to me now.
Yeah. And I think the cool thing about it is now, if you decide 5-10 years from now, tomorrow, like, you know, I want to throw a wig on.
And I will.
I've already owned
this
me. So like, regardless of what people think, like now I can do
whatever I want
confidently without the concern of what people are thinking.
Yep.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right. So one thing I want to get into, and she mentioned this a little bit early when we started this, we don't believe in, on the non-conversation, we don't believe in former anything.
Oh, Jesus.
We don't believe in that. You know, I'm not a former artist. I'm an artist. You know, she's not a former entrepreneur, and she know
I'm
where
not acting in that space right now.
She know where I'm going with this. So let's talk about your former. Your former, you say you were an entrepreneur. I'm saying you still are. You're just not actively working in it.
Okay.
So what were you doing?
I was a personal stylist, personal shopper, and I also had an online and I also had an online thriftique.
I remember.
That was my lane.
Yeah.
Style is my thing.
Yeah. So did you get tired of it? Did you find challenges with it?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Come on. It's gonna help somebody.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I launched my business in the spring, and then that fall or pre-fall, I found out I was pregnant. And so I did a fashion show, and it sold out. It did well. I had a plan, and all of the things, and then I found out I was pregnant, and everything came to a halt. Now I think it came to a halt because I didn't want to be pregnant. I wasn't happy. I was depressed, and this ain't what I wanted. And I got so much going on for me now. Why? How did this happen? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so as a result, my business suffered, and it kind of just faded to black. So I didn't really get to push it and thrive in it like I planned to do pre-mom.
Yeah.
My pregnancy was a little challenging towards the end. Well, not towards the end. She came early. She was a preemie.
Yeah.
3 months early.
Mm-hmm.
And then that presented its challenges. Yep. She was in the hospital for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
She came home with a feeding tube. She had feeding issues. And so the first year, I don't want to say it was impossible to run a business, but for me, it was kind of impossible to run a business.
For sure. You're figuring out the new norm at this point.
Yeah, and it was hard. My introduction to motherhood was very challenging.
Yeah.
And so business, entrepreneur life was not really foreseeable at that time.
Yeah.
I tried to get back in it, while I was doing it, but I just never could get my foot planted like I wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then single mom hit, then COVID hit. And so now that I'm knee deep in single momhood, my personal desires and entrepreneurial dreams have kind of been put on the back burner.
Yeah. One of the things that we've seen on the non-conversations is we've seen the perspective of those people who are actively doing, right? They've went through a period of not doing. They went through the dream period. They went through all of these things. We want to show all facets of now over never. And so what Bridgett just shared was, hey, sometimes life causes us to shift.
Oh, it does.
Right?
Yes.
It causes us to shift. And I'm sure that everyone who's watching this would agree that there's nothing more important, especially not just dealing with being a mother and becoming a parent, but the circumstance that you just explained through how you became a mother in that beginning stage. There's nothing more important than being fully present for this. So I want to make sure that, while we talk about now over never, and we talk about taking the first step forward in your passions and your dreams and your calling, things like that, also be present in life, and knowing when to do it. Right. I think my biggest thing is just not waiting for things to be perfect. But this is a prime example of now over never. Sometimes there are breaks in now over never.
Yeah.
Notice I use the word break because I'm not letting her off the hook.
Not.
We have a segment that we like to do.
Okay, I'm scared
now. On the non-conversation. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Okay.
So we call it That's My Jam. All right.
Okay.
It's called That's My Jam. So I'm gonna give you 3 different categories. You can answer these questions however you want.
Okay.
So the first one is, give me either a quote, a saying, or a scripture, something that you go to regularly that you love.
I don't know.
Anything. Could be a saying, something that's confident.
I get to choose.
I get to choose.
I get to choose.
I like that. I like that. When do you feel like you use that a lot?
It shows up in dealing with people.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I deal or whether I don't deal.
There you go.
Relationships of all kinds. Like, sometimes we don't get along, or we not seeing eye to eye, or sometimes I just don't feel like it. There are choices. This is a choice. I don't have to engage. I don't have to deal. I don't have to be your friend. I don't have to be your mate or whatever.
Yeah.
I get to choose what works for me and my space and my energy.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. So that's the first one. Next one is, give me 2 or 3. I want 2 or 3 of these songs. It could be, and these could be anything. These could be just like, these are my favorite songs. These are the songs that get me going. These are the songs that I listen to when I'm sad, when I need motivation. Give me 1 or 2 songs. It could be anything.
Okay.
Secular,
the first song that comes to mind is Jonathan McReynolds.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I can't even think of it. I just shared it and I can't think of the name of it.
You know what?
This is your word. I'm just living in it.
I
don't even know if that's the name of it, though.
But we'll put it on.
Okay.
Yeah. I just need to know a lyric. Yeah.
This is your word. I'm just living in it. Okay, that's my jam.
Okay.
Fantasia, Free Yourself.
Come on now. That low key Fantasia might be low key. You know how Mariah Carey with All I Want for Christmas is like the Christmas song now?
Uh-huh.
I feel like Free Yourself might be like the Black woman national anthem.
Yeah. Damn.
I have been in so many places where that song has come on. And it's one of those. And if there is a Black woman in sight I've been in the grocery store, they playing it, and I've seen a woman pushing the cart, like rolling her neck, singing that song.
That is hilarious.
Fantasia and Missy, y'all did your good work on that song.
Y'all did, girl.
It is lasting a lifetime. Your daughter gonna be singing that song. Look.
No, gonna be.
She's singing it.
Already.
My
sister was
you
like,
gotta go ahead and free yourself at age 7. Look.
Singing.
That's one of them ones. That's one of them ones. Give me another one. Give me another one.
I'm a Ty Tribbett fan.
Mm-hmm.
Love me some gangster Jesus.
Yeah.
I can't think of a song though. Like,
it's all good.
He's coming to St. Louis too, if y'all didn't know that.
Yeah.
I can't think.
That's all good. We just gonna post Ty Tribbett, and y'all can go look at his catalog.
Cause he the bomb. And Mary.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of songs right now.
We'll
but
we'll put some Mary and
them
some Ty.
twos.
Now you're into fashion. I'm gonna say you are fashion at this point.
Oh, don't ask me about all this.
Yeah, no. So give me 2 or 3, or however many you feel, classic fashion looks, trends, materials that are like go-tos for you.
Oh,
I know one of them right now.
What is it?
Denim. I'm a look. That's our thing. That's our thing.
Denim. It's a neutral. Denim is a neutral.
Yes, it is.
I love denim.
Yes, it is.
I'm a jumpsuit girl.
Okay. They
just work. I call them one-hitter quitters.
Yeah, there you go. Literally one.
You ain't gotta one-hitter quitters.
Yeah.
I'm also into sets or coordinates. It's a like.
Got you.
I bright colors.
Okay.
Mixed prints.
Mixed textures.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I also fringe.
You do the fringe.
And it's not a Beyonce. Because Beyonce, I feel like
you've been doing it.
I feel like Beyonce bringing out the cowboys and the cowgirls. And I ain't hating because I love me some Beyonce. I don't want no problems. Okay, Beehive, I want no problems.
Yeah.
But fringe is my friend.
Yeah, you've been doing it for a while.
I love it. So yeah, fringe, denim, jumpsuits,
bright colors, mixed textures.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, mixed prints. You said
mixed prints.
Mixed prints.
Yes.
Mixed prints. All right. So y'all that's been looking for a little motivation and what to do, how to spruce up your. I'm gonna say this: if you are, not even just a woman, but a person, and you are looking for inspiration to do something that you have not ever done before with fashion, clothes. This page that I'm finna post on here, go look at it and just do this. Just keep doing this. Over the past, I don't know how many years of content she got. Look at it.
And it's changed.
It's changed over time.
It's
changed over time.
You know, I love a good look now.
Yeah, come on.
You know, I love it. And you got mixed prints.
I'm trying. Today. I knew where I was coming. I said, I got to at least try something today.
You do well. I promise you.
I appreciate it. Look, Bridgett, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Having me. This was fun.
Yeah.
I was nervous.
I told you.
You did.
I got you. Look, y'all, the 9 Life, now over never. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Y'all be easy.
Peace.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the 9 Conversations on COTL-TV.
Pink.
Red. So when you come,
Pink, red.
I said,
Pink, red. Pink, red. Pink.
Hey, yo, what up? This is your boy, Cameron Classic Mike. First of all, thank you for watching the 9 Conversations right here on COTL-TV. That's at Content Outside the Lines or Content Outside the Lines, whichever way you want to say it. That's how we meant it. Right here on YouTube. I hope you've been inspired by some of the guests that we've had. And if you have and you want to see more of the 9 Conversations or more content like it, go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and hit that notification button so you can see exactly what I'll be posting in the future. And you can also join me over on Instagram at IamClassicMichael, where you can see additional content as well. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. The 9 Life. It's now over never.